I don't know what came over me right then. I'd been so afraid, so terrified, it was like something had just snapped in my head. I couldn't hide and watch. I just couldn't. You filthy... I jumped my feet. I snatched a piece of rust iron pipe in the ground and started climbing over the wall. I guess I just went crazy or something. It had to be craziness because there's no way I, alone, armed with a piece of pipe was going to accomplish anything. No. The only silent cry made me hesitate. I felt Marco's hands grabbing my shirt and pulling me back. Tobias and Marco held me down. Rachel pulled her hand over my mouth. I tried to scream or curse or something. Shut up, you idiot! Marco hissed. You're gonna get us all killed. Jake, don't. Cassie put her hand on my cheek. He doesn't want you to die for him, don't you realize? He's dying for us. I shoved Marco and Tobias away angry, but I was in control of myself again. I peeked over the wall, and the prince was helpless in the grasp of a visitor free. I saw him held high in the air. I saw him open his monstrous gaping jaws, and I saw the Andalite fall into an open mouth. The mouth closed, and the teeth ripped the Andalite apart. And thus, the Andalite prince, Elfangor Cyrano Shamtel, died. At the very end, he cried out. His cry of despair is in our heads. His cry will always be in our heads. The Harbinger controller is going to make a huffing sound like hoo hoo hoo. Maybe they're laughing or applauding. The taxi controllers rushed forward and crowded around Visor Free. They seemed to be stretching up, and I saw why. A piece of Andalite fell from his jaws, and the nearest one greedily gobbled it up. Tobias turned away and covered his face with his hands. Cassie had a tear stream from her eyes, and so did I. You know, for kids. I heard a sound that was strange because it was so normal. It was laughter. Human laughter. The humans, the human controllers, because that's what they were laughing like it was some kind of show. For a moment it seemed to me one of those laughing voices familiar like I'd heard before, but it was swallowed up by the huffling of the Harbinger. Visor morphed out of his monstrous form and slowly regained his Andalite body. Ah, I heard him think. Nothing like a good Antarian bog morph for taking a bite out of your enemies. Again they laughed and the Harbingers huffed, and I heard a familiar human laugh I couldn't place. Marco started throwing up. It was understandable, some of that sound caught the attention of the nearest Harbinger. The snakehead turned, and he was perfectly still. We were still. He turned towards us, and near side eyes aimed directly at our little hiding place. I don't know who panicked first. Maybe it was me. Maybe we all just had all the fear and horror we could stand. It was like an electric shock went through us. We were in for a chance to even know what I was doing. I ran and gasped for air. A cry went up from the Harbinger. Split up, I yelled. They can't follow all of us. Marco and Tobias and Cassie took off in 3 different directions. Rachel was right behind me. Glancing back, I saw Harbinger hesitate, unsure of who to chase. Rachel and I were the fastest runners. Tobias is out of shape, and Marco and Cassie are too short to really be fast, but I figured if they're going to chase anyone, it ought to be us. I guess Rachel thought the same, because she slowed down just a little again, yelling, waving her arms. Come on, you... Then she said some words I didn't realize she even knew. The 2 nearest Harbingers snapped around and took after us. Graflash, here, Graflash, enemy, get. In my panic, it surprised me. They're talking some mix of an alien language and ours. Graflash, I get, I kill. I ran, slamming my foot slammed something, and I was down. I hit the ground hard. The wind was knocked at me. I tried filling my lungs again, and Rachel ran on. She didn't know I fell. A spear of red light struck a concrete pipe just beside me, and the concrete vanished. The 2 Harbinger were coming after us, battling like some devil kangaroos. I was up and running. Rachel must have realized I wasn't with her because she stopped and started to come back. Don't be an idiot, I yelled. Run. She hesitated, but she knew she couldn't do anything for me. She ran, I saw a dark hole ahead, and raced toward it. A doorway. Inside it was as black as a grave. It was one of the buildings that almost been completed, just bare concrete walls and scattered junk, but I knew I'd been here before. Marco and I had walked through it, and there were hallways and little side rooms like a maze. Marco and Rachel, had they gotten away? What about casting Tobias? I checked my brain to concentrate and scurried for first big room, but there was a corridor somewhere. I groped in the dark and found a wall. I heard a sound of claw-like feet, huge, tearing, rending claw feet scraping over the bare concrete. A bottle went skittering over the floor. It was close, and in total darkness my superior human vision wasn't much use. But I knew my way around the empty building. At least, I would have, my brain had been working. I felt my hand go to emptiness. A doorway. Yes, it led down a hallway. I went through just a light came on behind me. Someone brought a flashlight. It's fun to tell falated fit, whatever order. No need to capture them. Whoever you find, kill. The first voice had been Harbinger. The second was human. And a weird thing, that voice sounded familiar. I tried to think. I'd heard it before. Where? Just save the head, the human told the Harbinger. Just bring it to me and we can identify it. I slid back along the wall. The light followed just steps behind me. I racked my brains. That'd be a passageway. Yes, there definitely was. As soon as I could, I slipped into it. The flashlight beam was mere inches behind me, and I kicked something soft. Hey! It was a man. He'd been lying on the ground wrapped in a blanket. Hey, get out of here. This is my place. I ain't got nothing for you to steal. I tried to warn him, but one of the Harbinger was there. The flashlight landed on the homeless man's face, and he blinked like an owl. There was an alcove right behind me, and I backed through. The homeless guy screamed, and I heard the sound of a scuffle. Maybe he got away. I hope so. But I never found out because as the Harbinger distracted, I ran. I ran and ran, and as I did, I just really hoped this was all a dream. Chapter 7. Somehow I made it home. I don't know how. I had no memories of anything after that last sight of the Harpager. I wish I had no memories of anything that happened that night. If only I could just forget it all. I called around to the others. Everyone was shaky, but they were alive. Rachel kept trying to apologize for leaving me. Margaret just kept asking if I was sure it wasn't a dream. I guess I should have had worse nightmares that night. I guess I should have had the worst nightmares of my life that night, but I didn't. The world of nightmares is a joke compared to my new reality. But the next morning, as Saturday, I half believed it was a nightmare. The only thing that seemed real, really real, was the way the Andalite was smiling with just his eyes. Oh, my mom started pounding my door. Jake, are you awake in there? I was now. Yeah, I groaned. I'm up. Your friend Tobias here. Tobias? What was he doing here? It's me. It was his voice. Can I come in? Sure. I sat in my bed and blinked a few times to get my eyes unglued. The door opened and heard Tobias say thank you to my mom. He was glowing. I swear he was glowing. Not like radioactive. I don't mean that. It's just his eyes were shining bright, and his face was one big grin. He seemed to be tingling with energy, bouncing and I couldn't stand still. I did it, Tobias said. I tried my hair to go in one direction while raking my fingers through it. What are you talking about? I was yawning when he answered. I became Dude. I stopped yawning. My mouth actually snapped shut. Dude was Tobias's cat. That still sounds funny to me, like, I became the Dude. Huh? He glanced around like there were spies in the room. I became Dude like the Andalite said. I stared. It was just amazing. It didn't hurt anything. I was petting him. I was thinking of the whole thing last night, right? I thought, why not give it a try? He was pacing back and forth, snapping his fingers, bursting with enthusiasm. Very unlike Tobias. Who names a cat Dude? I don't know. I guess Tobias does. I didn't even know where to begin. It's just made sure the door of my room was locked. Fortunately, Uncle is still asleep. Tobias had the most screwed up family I know. He never knew who his father was, and his mom decided to leave him a few years ago. Since then, he'd been shuffled back and forth between his uncle and his aunt who lived on the other coast. His aunt and uncle can't stand each other. It's like Tobias some bird and they try to shove off on each other. I get the feeling neither of them really care. So there I was just sitting in my bed thinking about it, concentrating, thinking about becoming Dude. I looked at my hand. What do you think I saw, Jake? I shook my head slowly. I don't know. I had fur, Jake, and I was growing claws. You should have seen the real Dude, though. He went nuts. I had to put my side against my Animorph all the way. He called me up pretty good. He stuck a sliced finger to his mouth. I swallowed hard. Okay, this was definitely crazy now. Tobias, is it possible you maybe dreamed all this? Not a dream, he said. Now he's serious again. The grin was gone. It's all true, Jake. All of it. I knew what he was saying. He had tried to pretend it was a nightmare too, but it was real. I looked away. I didn't want to start believing it all been real. I wanted to all be safely stored away in my head, just another bad dream. Bad dreams should stay in your head, not come jumping out in the real life. I just kept concentrating on changing, he said. In a few minutes, I was not myself anymore. His eyes bored in on me. You have no idea what it's like, Jake. Being a cat is just so... I can't even describe it. You're so strong for one thing. Just all this coil power and the way you can move. You know what I did? I just jumped on my dresser. 3 feet straight up in the air and I landed like a feather. 3 feet! You know how high that is when you're a cat? It's like a person jumping 30 feet. He stopped and looked at me. You don't believe me, do you? Look, Tobias, it's just sometimes hard to tell the difference between something real and something you're imagining or dreaming. You think I'm crazy. I can say for a minute. Well, I don't know, Tobias. Let's review the facts. You just told me to turn into your cat. Like, turn into an actual cat. That sounds pretty crazy to me. He nodded thoughtfully, gave a little smile. I understand, Jake. You just still don't want it to be true. What? You mean do I want to believe that I can change myself into a cat and all the rest of it? Do you think I want to believe the Earth's being invaded by slimy slugs within people's brains? Do you think I want to believe... No, I don't want to believe any of it. And what about the Andalite? He said in a quiet voice. I hesitated. I didn't know why, but I didn't want to just pretend that away. He put a hand on my arm. Just stand right there. What? What are you going to do? I'm going to help you decide whether it's real or not. Tobias? Just wait and don't scream or anything. So I waited, and for a few minutes nothing happened. Tobias just stood there. I glanced at his face. His eyes were different. The pupils weren't completely round anymore. I swear there was a reflective greenish light in them, and his mouth was protruding a little, puffing out. He was shrinking, growing smaller right before my eyes. The neck of his shirt was loose. His pants started scrunching up at the ankles. He was shriveling, and at the same time fur, yes, fur began to grow on his hands and neck and face. It was a gray, sharp black just like Dude's. I had this absurd desire to start giggling. He's becoming a tappy cat, but I knew if I start giggling I'd just keep going on, never be able to stop. Tobias more cat than human now. The pointed ears rose on top of his head. The whiskers stuck straight from beneath his delicate pink nose. He had dropped all fours, clothing now half draped over him like so many rags. His tail twitched. Yes, his tail. I wonder if I just dropped dead from a lump to fill my throat with a jackhammer pounding on my heart. Then I wonder if I was still asleep. But if this was a dream, it was a very convincing one. I was staring into my bed, staying in my bedroom, staring down at a black-gray cat that less than 2 minutes earlier had been my friend. Oh, I'm asleep, I muttered. I really do. You're not asleep. Is that you? I demanded, cat. Can you hear me? Sounded surprised, though sounded in the right word. Yes? I didn't know if I could send my thoughts like this, just like the Andalite. I guess it only works when you're morphed. I was talking to a cat, I realized, and I thought Tobias is crazy. I wonder if he heard my thoughts. I concentrated. Tobias, can you hear me? Yeah, he said, I can hear you. Did you hear my thoughts before that? No, I don't think it works like that, Amy. You have to think at me for me to hear. Hey, watch this. He suddenly leaped in the air. He pounced precisely on an autographed baseball that was lying in a corner. Maybe a 4-foot jump. This is so excellent. Hey, pull a string for me to chase. Pull a string? Why? Because it's fun. I dug in my dress camera and leaked the string left over from my birthday gift. It wasn't exactly big on keeping my room clean. The string was from my birthday 2 years ago. How's this? I drew a string slowly across the floor a foot from his nose. He settled back on his haunches again, wiggling his hindquarters, and then he pounced. He landed on the string, grabbing his sharp teeth, rolling over again, ripping at the string was the only thing on earth that mattered. Yeah, I tried to pull the string away, but he pounced again. Yes, I got it! Tobias, what are you doing? Pull it faster. I see it. I got it. Tobias, what are you doing? You're playing with a string. Suddenly he stopped. His tail twitched. He looked at me with those cold cat eyes, so I was sure I saw a look of confusion. I don't know. It's like I'm me, but I'm also dude. I want to trace strings, and oh man, if there's a real live mouse around, I just love to track it, to follow it so quietly, listen to its heartbeats, to hear its scratchy little feet. I just wait till the right moment, and then a perfect pounce with claws stretched out. He extended his claws to demonstrate. Tobias, I think we're learning something here. I said, amazing how quickly I got used to the idea of talking to a cat. What are we learning? I think you aren't just Tobias, you're really a cat. I mean, you have all the same instincts. You want to do things a cat wants to do. Yeah, I can feel it, like I'm two different animals melded into one. I can think like a person and a cat. You better change back, I said. He nodded his cat head up and down, which is very weird to see. You're right. The change back to human was at least as strange as a change to cat. The fur disappeared in bare patches of pink skin, a nose grabbed a flat cat face, the tail was sucked up like a snake going up a vacuum cleaner. Tobias stood there looking embarrassed. He quickly pulled on his clothes. Maybe with some practice we'll figure out how to change back into our clothes. We? He smiled that same smile again. Don't you get it, Jake? If I can do it, so can you. I shook my head. I don't think so, Tobias. And suddenly he got angry. He grabbed me both my shoulders and actually shook me. Don't you understand, Jake? It's all true. All of it. I pushed him away. I didn't want to hear it. But he kept after me. Jake, it's all true. The Andalite gave us these powers for a reason. Fine, I said, you use them. I will, but we all need you, Jake. You most of all. Why me? He hesitated. Geez, Jake, don't you understand? I know what I can do and what I can't do. I can't make plans and tell people what to do. I'm not the leader. You are. I laughed rudely. I'm not the leader of anything. He looked at me with his deep, troubled eyes I can now only see in my memory. Oh, that's dark. Yes, Jake, you are our leader. You're the one who can bring us all together and help us defeat the controllers. We have the ability to be so much more than we are, to have the stealth of the cat and the eyes of eagles and the sense of smell of a dog and the speed of a horse or a cheetah. We're gonna need all our hope against these controllers. I wanted it not to be true. I wanted none of it to be true, but I knew it was. I nodded slowly. I felt like I was agreeing to something awful. Like I was volunteering for a trip to a dentist or something much worse. It felt like 1,000,000 pounds of weight just landed on my shoulders. I kinda get how he's feeling. Like, being the leader is obviously a lot of responsibility. He just seems to have a natural knack for it, or at least Tobias thinks so, but clearly that's not something you volunteer for, no. Well, I said grimly, I guess I better find Homer. Homer, that's my dog. And now for chapter 9. It wasn't painful, morphing I mean. I petted Homer for a while, feeling a complete and total fool. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done, I told Tobias. Hey, petting dogs is not stupid, they love it. I like it too. Look, you have to concentrate, or at least I did. I mean, I formed this mental picture of dude, right? I thought about becoming him. I see, so I have to like meditate on becoming a dog. That's right, you have to think about it. You have to want it. Become dog. Normally I would have figured he's nuts, but I just see him turn into a cat, so if he was nuts, so was I. I thought of becoming Homer. As I stroked his fur up, a picture reminded me becoming him. Homer came weirdly quiet, like he was asleep, only his eyes were open. Just like dude, Tobias commented. I think it puts some animals in a trance or something. He just looks scared as he thinks his master's a Looney Tune. I continued stroking his fur and concentrating. Homer continued to lie extremely still. Okay, now what? Well, we better put him outside. He might get a little freaked by watching you turn into him. It took Homer about 10 seconds to come out of his trance. When he jumped up, normal hyperactive Homer again, I put him outside in the yard. Tobias said glacially when I got back, just waiting. Give it a try. Think about it. Want it. I took a deep breath and I closed my eyes. I recalled the picture of Homer I formed in my mind. I thought of becoming Homer. I opened my eyes. Bow, wow, I said, laughing. Guess it didn't work for me, Tobias. The back of my hand itched and I scratched it. Jake? What? Look at your hand. I looked at my hand. It was covered in orange fur. I jumped about a foot straight in the air. I stared at my hand. The fur stopped growing. Don't be scared. Just go with it. Now you stopped it. You have to concentrate. My hand? Fur? Yeah, and your ears? I looked into a mirror in my dresser. My ears had moved. They slipped aside my head were definitely larger than they should be. Go on, it's so cool. Cool, this is creepy. I mean, look at my hands. You have to do this. I don't have to do anything. Tobias nodded. Okay, you're right. You don't have to do this. You can just forget what we saw last night. And forget what we know. And as the Yerks take over more and more people, you can just ignore it. We can all just go along and grow up in a world where human beings are met bodies used by murdering aliens. Okay, when he put it that way, it didn't sound like a great option. I will say I do think the disbelief is pretty believable, honestly. Like, I'm glad they didn't make it go any longer than they did, but it makes sense. Come on, he urged. I swallowed hard and closed my eyes. I thought of Homer, of being Homer. I about to itch mess again. I opened my eyes. There's fur growing on my arms, and growing out of my face, and curling up from under my collar. Collar. My legs itch and I realized they were growing fur too. My bones, well, it didn't exactly hurt, but they did feel very strange. You know when you go to dance and it gives you Novocaine so it doesn't really hurt, but you know it should? I guess it's kind of like that. My bones shortened. I feel my backbone stretching and stand out into a tail. There's a scraping sound as my knee is suddenly a reverse direction. I toppled forward, no longer able to walk upright. When my hands hit the floor, they weren't exactly hands anymore. The fingers were gone, and all I was left were short, stubby nails. My face bulged out. My eyes grew closer together. Tobias got up and tilted the mirror so I could see myself. I watched the final transformation as the last patches of my human flesh disappear and the tail, my tail, spread to full length. I was a dog. It was insane, but just the same, I was a dog. I knew I should be scared, but I wasn't. I was ecstatic. I was giddy. I was thrilled. Happiness just washed over me. Happiness filled me up. I breathed through my ridiculously long nose and wow, the smells. Oh man, you have no idea. I breathed in and right away I knew my mom was toasting a waffle in the kitchen. I knew Tobias walked through the territory of a big male dog. I knew things I couldn't even explain in human words, like being blind out of life and suddenly being able to see. I ran over to Tobias and sniffed his shoe. I wanted a better idea who that big male dog was. When the son of the urine he picked up, I got a sort of picture of him. See, Homer knew him. His owners called him Streak. He was neutered, like me. I spent most of the time in the backyard, but he broke out sometimes by digging under a fence. He got a mix of canned dry food, Purina, no table scraps, unlike me. Also, information made me happy all over again and to wag my tail. Tobias looked tall and strange and not very colorful. I wasn't interested in looking. Smelling was much better. Intruder! There was a noise in the yard. A dog, an unknown dog in my yard, an intruder. I ran to the window and perched against it and cut loose. Ruff, 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 ruff. I barked as loud as I could. No way some unknown dog was gonna walk in my yard. Jake, get a grip, Tobias. It's Homer out there. Homer? What? But I took my tail to my legs. What was going on? Jake, Tobias said, just like having me when I was a cat. The dog brain is part of your brain now. You have to deal with it. But there's a dog in my yard. That's Homer, Jake. You're Jake. You're just in a buy copy from his DNA. That's the real Homer out there. You put him out there. Focus. You're Jake. Jake. I took a few deep breaths. The smells. Oh man, there was one smell I couldn't quite focus. Focus. Slowly I calmed the dog part of my mind down. Let go of the smells, let go of the sound of a dog out in the yard. It wasn't easy that first time. Being a dog is just so completely amazing. There's nothing halfway about it. You're never kind of happy. You're just happy. You're never sort of bummed. You're just completely, totally bummed. And when you're hungry in dog form, you're nuts on the subject of food. There's a knock on my door. Yes, my door. I knew who I was again. I was Jake. Jake with 4 legs, a tail, and a snout, but still Jake. The knocking seemed incredibly loud in my dog ears. Jake, you got Homer in there with you? I heard Tom's voice. Mom's on the phone. Stop him yapping. He opened the door and stepped in. He looked around confused. Who are you? Demanded Tobias. I'm Tobias, a friend of Jake's. Well, where's he? Oh, he's around. Tom looked down at me. There's a strange smell about him. My dog brain couldn't quite identify. It was an unsettling, dangerous smell. And somehow my own mind heard an echo of a laugh, a very human laugh I heard that night before. Bad dog, Tom said to me. You keep quiet. Bad dog. And then he left. I was devastated. I wasn't a bad dog. Not really. I was just barking because some other dog was in my yard. Bad dog? I was a bad dog? I wanted to be a good dog. I crept in the corner, utterly miserable. Aw, poor thing. Tobias knelt down and patted my head. Well, when he scratched me on the ears, I felt a little better. Aww. That's just... Aw. Sorry, I'm just a little overwhelmed. Dogs.